to Momentum in Real Estate, your guide to success in the dynamic world of real estate. I'm Cory.
And I'm Kristen James. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, we're here to help you reach new heights.
Success in real estate comes from learning, growing, and serving others.
Join us as we dive into strategies for lead generation, marketing, market trends, and client relationships.
Get ready to ignite your momentum and achieve your goals in real estate.
Let's dive in and unlock your full potential.
This is Momentum in Real Estate.
Well, Natasha Jones is a seasoned realtor with nearly 24 years of experience and deep roots in Orlando, where she's lived since 1997. Starting her career with KB Home, she gained a strong foundation in customer service and the building process before branching into residential sales in 2006. Today, she specializes in everything from luxury homes and new construction to fixer-uppers and first-time buyers, always putting her clients' needs first. Natasha is known for her honesty, dedication, and knack for finding the perfect fit for her clients. Welcome to the Momentum in Real Estate podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you. Was there something, Natasha, that she said that we heard you talk and we didn't know?
I was saying I live in Ocala, but I service the Orlando area and Ocala area, but that's fine.
Oh, awesome. Oh, I love that. No, I'm
that's
glad we got that cleared up. That's great. Well, tell us your real estate story in your own words. We'd love to hear it.
My real estate story. I went to college at UCF in Orlando, have a degree in business marketing, and I thought I was going to enter, this big corporate world. And I did for a little while, and that business closed down. So I went to a temp agency and they stuck me in a model home with KB Home. So I was just there to let the homeowners come and let them in their houses to walk through and that kind of thing. I knew nothing about real estate. And the actual sales lady who ran that community, she came in one day. I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And one day she come on Fridays. And she came on Friday and she's like, you really need to get your real estate license. My buyers love you. The clients absolutely love you. And I was like, I didn't go to school to sell anything. Like, okay. And I didn't think anything of it. And I talked to my parents over the weekend, and my mom was like, you have the gift for gab. And I went and got my real estate license and started with KB Home. And here I am 24 years later. Yeah, it was full circle now. The lady that got me into real estate, she's passed away, but my foundation came from KB Home, the customers first, the following up, following through, and just making sure if your customers are happy and if you do what you say you're going to do, the rest will follow.
That's awesome.
That's one of the most important things in real estate, follow up and follow through.
Yeah, that's so great and such a great foundation to build a business off of. I kind of want to start more high level and talk about kind of the economy in general. You've said real estate, and I believe this to be true too, is a cornerstone of our economy. Can you talk a bit about like why housing, property ownership are such a critical component in our kind of financial health?
Absolutely. Like I said, I went to school, UCF, and we had a class called Cornerstone. And mind you, I'm in marketing. I have a degree for marketing. And I'll never forget how I could not believe America stands on this cornerstone of real estate, because real estate, it gives you the banking, it gives you the construction, it gives you work there, it gives us as agents work, it gives title companies work. Real estate touches so many different aspects in the business world that helps the country run. And as we can see, the state of the market now, it's a buyer's market, and they're trying to lower interest rates. So it would stimulate the economy, because economy is the cornerstone of real estate. If real estate isn't moving, if we're not in a market where houses are selling and buyers are buying, and I mean all types of buyers, not just millionaires and investors, because those are my buyers now, millionaires and investors and people that absolutely have to buy. But when you have a good market and you have everybody, your middle class, your upper middle class, people can afford housing, the economy is great. Everything is good. You don't hear complaints about unemployment and all that good stuff. So that's how I know, and I've learned real estate is the cornerstone. When real estate is not selling, it's like everything else falls apart. We saw that in 2008 to 10. And they dropped the interest rates just to get the housing market moving. And when they did that, look what happened. I can say from experience and from learning and education, real estate is definitely the cornerstone.
Well,
Cornerstone
that's
of America. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And it also is like you have to have a pulse on the economy to really understand what's going to happen or what's going to go on, you know? Not that we all have a crystal ball and can easily say what's going on, otherwise we'd be billionaires, but the
Right.
economy definitely does play a huge part. What So you did kind of go into this, but I want to dig a little deeper. Like, what ripple effects do you see when the real estate market does start to decline? And how does that impact everyday people outside of just buyers and sellers?
Oh, wow. So when the market starts to decline, you usually see the people that are actual buyers and sellers, your normal everyday buyers and sellers, when they stop putting their homes up for sale and buyers are qualified and they're just like peeking over the fence and not buying, that affects everything. First of all, it affects people who need to move, people who want to buy, and they just don't feel comfortable buying. It affects me, people in the real estate industry, agents, brokers, and which trickles down to our families and us just simply being able to live the job market. There are a lot of jobs in real estate, in the constructions part, in the financial part. And when they don't have those jobs, they can't live. They can't live just the normal American dream. And I'm finding that the American dream that I grew up with, I'll be 49 in November. So my kids, our American dream is, you get a good job, you start a company, you get married, you have kids, and you buy a house. Buying a house now is almost a privilege. It's just not easy to purchase a home. There's so many things that you have to have in place. So when you are not able to, when the homes aren't selling and sellers aren't selling, buyers aren't buying, it's stagnant. It's no movement. The world keeps moving, but people are struggling. More food banks open, people that are trying to find jobs, not the jobs aren't there, or you'll see someone that worked at a bank and now they're in the grocery store working. And it's nothing wrong with that, but when you're accustomed to a certain income and your income drops, then you lose, okay, I can't pay that mortgage. Am I going to buy food for my family so we can eat, or am I going to pay that mortgage? They're going to feed their kids. And that ripple effect starts in so many families when they don't have the jobs, you don't pay the mortgage, and then we're here with a bunch of foreclosures upside down and all kinds of things like that. So that's kind of how I feel and what I've experienced.
It's such a good and helpful perspective. We often, I think, no matter what kind of industry you're in, you get tunnel vision and kind of have
Mhm.
this like, oh, I operate in a silo. And real estate's one of those fields that, like, as you mentioned, all the kind of adjacent work that is connected to real estate, whether it's the financing side or the home construction or trades, you've got all sorts of fields and industries that are connected. And so that aspect of a ripple effect is really powerful.
I was just going to say, even buying furniture. People buy homes and they're buying furniture. So you see the
Yep.
furniture stores, some of them closing and clearance and, so yeah,
So
it affects
interesting.
everything. I mean,
Yeah.
down to the road work in your communities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it really does.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I want to talk a bit about, I know that the market in Florida sometimes is like a leader in terms of what happens across the country. When things are like really hot there, it then kind of trickles into other markets, and when things slow down, same can be true. Tell us about what you're seeing in your market at a real local level in terms of just with interest rates where they are. I'm assuming you're in a real buyer's market. Just give us
Yeah.
some tidbits on what's happening in your local market.
My local market is actually pretty good. I've been blessed and I still have buyers, I still have sellers, and we build houses as well. But being in, they call Ocala, Florida, Orlando area, we're the retirement state. We have Mickey Mouse, and we still have so much land here in Marion County, in Orange County, and in between. There's just still a lot of land and growth for development. So you still see, I'm busy, but I'm busy. I've been in real estate a long time. So people, I've met investors and I'm down to the children and the grandchildren. So I get a lot of referrals, but if you're a newer agent and you don't have the referrals or you don't have the experience and people are sending people to you, because about 80% of my business is referral business. And if you don't have that, even in this market, it's hard because things have slowed down. Buyers are waiting. Buyers are just trying to see what's going to happen with the tariffs. And yes, you get qualified for a mortgage, but if your toothpaste and your groceries are $200 more than average, there goes your mortgage insurance. So you can't afford this $300,000 house. Now you're down to 250 and it doesn't accommodate your family. I've seen it negatively affect us, but we're still moving. Central Florida is a very popular area, and you have a lot of people that just want to move here because you can get the city life and you can get the country life, and it literally 20 minutes away. So it's the market is still pretty decent here. It's still good. We're one of the top 5 areas that are selling in the United States. And it's just, I think it's because what we have to offer. The interest rates are still pretty decent. I don't think we will ever go back down to the 2 and 3%. We will never see those days again. And I'm very cautious about saying never because God will show you. But I feel really confident in saying we'll probably never see those interest rates again. So if I'm finding I can get with decent credit for 4.9, 5.25, so those are doable interest rates. It's when you get in the 7s and the 8s that people can't afford to purchase homes. That really knocks a lot of people out of the ballpark to purchase. But I have a great network of lenders, and the credit and the interest rates, they go hand in hand, but interest rates are still decent. You can still do a pretty good, if you have a decent credit score, 5% is a good rate. If you can get 5.25, you're doing great.
Well, and
Even
I
6
feel
is
like
not bad.
yeah. I feel like as a buyer's agent too, like there's so many crafty things you can do for clients, like,
There is.
helping them with a 2-1 buy down or helping them with buying down the interest rates or knocking money off, because we're in the buyer's market. Um, I am curious, going back to what you said about being in the top 5 and things are still selling. Like, what does that mean exactly? And then what kind of trends are you keeping an eyeball on?
When I say we're still selling, that means that I still have closings, that I
Mm.
still have clients actively looking and purchasing, and other agents. And there's lots of construction still going on. We just broke ground on our first house for our company last week. And we're small. So if we're breaking ground, prices are dropping, but I think it's the prices are dropping and people will be able to afford homes. So I would say everything is still good in this market based on just if you can get the good interest rates, the buy downs. I'm cautious with the buy downs because in a couple of years, the buy downs used to be permanent. You could buy down the interest rate and it would stay that way. Now you buy down the interest rate, but it still goes back after a few years. So you have to be careful with the buy downs, but I find seller concessions are great. I tell my buyers to say as liquid as possible. Don't drain your 401k, don't drain your savings because you're going to need that cash to live, to pay your mortgage payment, to do things you need to do in just everyday life. So I find that we're still good here, and that what makes us different is just we're Central Florida. We're vacation and horse capital and retirement capital. There are so many things that come with Florida, and people are looking to, I find, change the way they live. I have a few clients that come from really huge homes in the city, and they want some land and some peace and something to call their own. And if something were to ever go wrong or happen, they can make it where they live. So I have a lot of people coming out looking for land. And I think that's a huge a huge draw point for people that want to move, that are moving, especially from up north. We have a lot of people coming from up north, and about 1,500 people a day moving into Florida, which
Wow.
is huge.
Yeah, that is huge. That's a lot of opportunity, which is awesome.
It definitely is.
Mhm. I want to dig in a little bit, Natasha, to your experience. I mean, obviously you've been through various market cycles. I'm sure in the midst of that, you've had your fair share of personal challenges. I'm curious
Well,
if you
yes.
could share what the biggest obstacle that you've overcome in your career and really then translate it into how it shapes the way you serve your clients.
After being in real estate, when I hit the 20-year mark, I was like, okay, I got this. I really get real estate. I can tell you in real estate, if your personal life is in shambles, it's really hard to service your clients well. So you have to have a really good balance. And in February of 2023, my house was set on fire with my children and I in it. We lost everything, the car, the house, we lost everything. And like a week and a half later, I had a closing, and I still had to be, my computer was gone in the fire. Like we got out with the clothes we had on. To this day, the insurance is still not settled because it was arson. Someone threw gas on the backside of my home, and we slept for 3 hours while the house burned. And the grill was beside the house, and the propane tank blew up, which caused the dryer, which was on the inside of the house, but on the same wall, that blew up. That woke my son up. And I had earpods on, listening to rain, going to calm down to go to sleep. And by the grace of God, my son was, I'm always, why are you up at 2 o'clock in the morning? You need to go to bed. Don't bother him at all anymore. But because he was awake, the fire alarms did not go off. He woke us up, and I woke up and we had to crawl out. Like on the movies, you see people crawling out. That's what happened to us. And I still had to be present for my client, be present for my clients. So the house burned down. I didn't have a home. Insurance wasn't paying. And I still had to take care of my clients. So it put me in a position to really understand. Again, I bought a couple of homes. We've been on deadlines and have to move and stuff like that, but not to have a home to call my own. And my whole adult life, I've always had a home and been able to provide. And in that time frame, just being able, I needed help, and I was always the one helping. And being a part of a few real estate groups and women's groups, they bought me a computer, which helped me get started, get back going, because I was sharing a computer with my daughter. So after losing the house and losing everything, it gave me a new perspective on, okay, I had to like truly pick myself up. I had 4 kids. I had been married 20 years, divorced now. But at the time, it was just me and the kids, and I had to figure it out. I had 4 people looking at me like, what's next, mom? I didn't have time to cry. I didn't have time to, woe is me. I had no time for that because we still had to live. By the grace of God, my grandmother, she passed away the same year, October. She was 93, and we shared 28 acres. So I moved to Ocala to help take care of my grandparents. And being in real estate, it allows you to make your own schedule. So I was able to help take care of her. And when she found out my house burned down, she gave me her house and she went and moved in with my mother. So I'm living in her house now on 28 acres. It's a lot to do, but I'm grateful. And it just makes me, people who are, when you're looking for a home, I was blessed, and my grandmother gave me her house. But when you're looking for a home and you have to go through the financing and going through all these hoops to qualify, it just gave me a bigger sense of compassion and understanding of, they got to figure it out. You really have to be there and help. It's okay. I tell my clients, ask as many questions as you want, because the more questions you ask, the more you understand. And then that builds a rapport and trust with us. If you're working with an agent and they don't like the questions, or they give you a hard time with questions, that's not who you want to work with. You need someone you got to have compassion and understanding. Life happens while people are trying to buy homes. My house burned down. We lived in a hotel it was a nice hotel, but it wasn't home, for 10 days. So just to be in that situation, times God puts you in situations so you understand. And I think that just made me just more compassionate, more giving, and more understanding to my clients who are trying to purchase a home, going to work. They have the kids, they have football. That's, just life. They may have parents they're taking care of. I live in the retirement state. A lot of people take care of their parents here. So it just helped me put things in perspective on another end. And although the house is gone, if I had that house and that mortgage, I wouldn't have the winning results. There's no way I could build this, my business partner and I, we couldn't build this company if I had that mortgage and just all those bills. And God removed that, and here I am. I thought it was like the worst thing in the world. You have your house like you want it. I walk in my bedroom, it's like I want to have the bedroom set I want, and everything was just perfect.
Mm.
But it wasn't what God had for me. And it took me a little while. I was really salty. And I love God. And it was just like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I said that so many times. I don't understand,
Mm.
but I have to
Don't
keep
we?
moving.
We say
Mm.
that all the time, don't we?
Yes, it's like, I don't understand, God. Like, I'm good to people. I'm good to everybody. Why would you do this to me? Why would you allow this? And he allowed it so I could have this. And
Mm.
sometimes God has to remove things to give you new things. And he gave me a whole new company. He gave me a business partner who when I started with KB Home, I had 72 agents by the time I worked my way up. I did not want 72 agents. I would say, I'm never going to be a broker. I'm never going to open a company. I'm never going to do that. And he chased me for a year and a half. And it was not long after the fire when it was just like he went to different agents and they sent him back to me. So it was finally like, okay, the house is gone. What do I have to lose? And when I tell you God puts that one person in place for you, he saw me at the time I didn't see. I'm sure I projected a great confidence, but inside I really wasn't as confident as it looked. But now going through all of that and him saying, like, listen, you're a boss. Like, you've been in real estate for how many years full time? I have never had another job. I did work a phone job at home for like 3 or 4 months, and that was just impossible with little kids. But besides that, I've done nothing but real estate. And he just would remind me daily, this is what God built you for. This is what God made you for. And through him speaking life into me, I believe it. I believe this is not just my job, it's my ministry, it's my calling. I love what I do
Mm.
because when you help a family, when I'm the agent that if I have to give up some commission for you to close, I'm going to give up commission for you to close. But when you help that one family, that's a life changing moment when they're closing on a home. They remember you forever. And as long as you're good, you're honest, and you're true, I always say, I'm going to give it to you straight, no trace, no chaser. I don't fluff it up. It is what it is. And this is what we have to work through. And when you're like that and you're good to your clients, that's why I have about 80% of my business is repeat business, is referral business. That's how it works. And that one fire has just helped mold me and helped me see another aspect. It just gave me opened my heart more. And you have those buyers that are only qualified for 150 or 200,000. You have agents that won't work with those buyers. I service everybody. I've closed houses as low as 130,000, 100,000, and we closed a house this year at 900,000. So it doesn't matter to me. And if you're not qualified, I'm going to help you get qualified. If you're willing to do the work, I'll work with you. So that's just how I work. And I think things that happen in our daily lives definitely help us mold how we work in real estate and how we treat our clients and if you're a client, how do you want to be treated? So
Mhm.
that's how it's transitioned for me. That's how I work. And that's what recent life has done for me in real estate and made me just open my eyes even bigger and just give me just more compassion. I think we need more compassion. It's hard buying a house. First time home buyers, it's hard.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
beautifully said, and I'm so sorry that that happened, but also like so amazing that your clients have that perspective too. So this is kind of a deep question, and I'm just curious, life happens, like your house burns down, or you know, we had Hurricane Helene hit the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. Never knew that was going to happen. Or a family member passes away or something. Like, how did you keep going with your real estate business in that time? How did you have the drive? How did you have the patience? Like, how did you, when your life is kind of falling apart around you, you know, I mean, you have God, which is great, but what else?
I
Yeah,
had
what else
family.
kept you going?
I had family support. I had the clubs that I had joined. Nice, it's called Nice Ladies of Ocala. And Nice Ladies helped my children and I find clothes. They helped me with the computer and just the moral support, just the prayers, and just having to look at yourself and say, nobody's going to put it back together but you. Like God will, you can pray, and like faith is the substance seen, not seen, and the things hoped for. So God will bless you, and He will bring. It's like bringing a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So it's really up to you. You have to mentally get yourself in a place that, you know, if this is it, you got to do it. So yes, I had a lot of help as far as support from my family, but to just jump back, like the house burned down on a Thursday, and that following Thursday I had a closing. So I still had to finish, you know, the clear to close, the walkthrough, all of that with a smile and being happy for my client. And my house is still smoke coming up from the ground. So just faith and having good people and good support around me. And at the time I was with Next Home Professional Realty, and they were really, 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 that was, I can say they're a bigger brokerage, but they're what they were able, they helped, they really just supported me as their agent. And my broker was great. Her name is Courtney Moody. She was great. That's how I got through. That's really how I got through, with the support of other agents, my broker, my parents, and my children. My children definitely, you know, you look at your kids and it washes away the world. But at that point, it was just, okay, I got to get life back together for us. So that's how I got through. Yes, God for sure. But God will give you everything you need, but you still have to get up and do it. He doesn't do it for you, He gives you the opportunity. And that's how you had to jump on I had to jump on the opportunities. I had to just keep going. I started networking more, and the fire was in the news for 2 or 3 days. So people knew who I was. And I kind of, you know, once that's after a week or so after the fire, I started doing videos every week. I just put myself out there and started working. Just, you have to be present. And when people see you and they see you online, they see you out and about, they see you at different functions and networking, that's how I just kept going. And the business actually grew. I got busier after the fire.
So interesting and such a, I mean, a sad experience, but you've gained and learned so much that you now have to offer to others, which is amazing. I was what I was thinking of as you were sharing, just in light of your experience kind of across the board. I mean, you've worked with all kinds of investors, luxury clients, first time home buyers, people at the low end of a budget, high end budget. We often hear the mantra like riches are in the niches. I'm curious your response to that, just in light of your decades of experience. What would you say to that, and how has it played out in your career?
That can be very true. And I can't say that I have a specific niche. Not to be cocky, but you make yourself the niche. I am the niche. There's not another agent like me. There's not another agent that's gonna pick up the phone at 10 o'clock if I have to, work on Sundays, work 7 days a week, but I'm gonna get it done. So there are niches where, you know, you have the retirement community, or you have people that are, with this being the retirement state, I actually have quite a few clients that, you know, are selling their homes and going to assisted living, or the living where, you know, it's just a lot of people of their age, they can take care of themselves, but they're that niche. I'm great. I'm great with older people. I'm great with older people. So if you want to say that's a niche, that is definitely a niche. But I find I would say I'm the niche, because I create there's not another agent like me. I am Natasha the Realtor, and I will give you the best service that you can imagine. I'm going to be honest up front, and I'm going to take you from first base all the way home. And sometimes I've had clients that start at first base, and it may take 2 to 3 years before we get home, but we're going to make it home. And I'm the realtor that will stick with you. So that's what makes me different, I think, because some agents just, they're not, they want it now. And if you're going to be in this business, you need a pipeline. So yes, you need closings this month, but what about December, January, February? Next year's coming. So you have to work it all, and you have to be good at working all the niches, not just one niche. If you put all your eggs in one basket, you're missing out on everything else. So I can jump in the different niches that there are, insert yourself and work in those niches.
Well, it's so beautiful because Kristen and I have very similar businesses too, where we're just sphere of influence. Like that is a huge part of our business as well. And one of the things that we do and we pour into our clients and friends and people that support our business is just events that we do quarterly pretty much, and then little groups here and there. But how do you keep in touch as we're wrapping up here? Like, how do you keep in touch with your clients? How do you make sure that you're out there and doing the things? Yeah, just share with us a little bit about how you build your pipeline.
Well, I always send out one thing that I've learned from a broker actually is one thing I do is I go back in the MLS and I look at all the closings I've had that year. And even people I put in my CRM that may not have closed, but may have called, and I have their mailing information. I send out Christmas cards. And thank God AI, but before AI, when you had the CRM and you just plug in their birth dates, their anniversaries, and that's how you stay in front of them. But I'm also very present on social media, on all the platforms. I go to events. If I'm invited to a wedding, I show up. If I'm invited to a christening, I show up. And Ocala is a small town. Orlando, I actually did really well. I lived in Orlando for 20 years. And just being a part of the events they have, you can't sit at home and think you're going to be a successful agent. You have to go out and you have to network. If you do not network, you're not going to meet the people to have your eggs in several baskets. So you have to be a part of the Home Builders Association. You want to be a part of the Nice Ladies Association. You want to be a part of, like, we adopted a school, and my parents are retired educators. So I help teachers out. If you're a teacher and you buy with me, we give you extra credit because my parents were educators. So little things like that, you have to just put yourself out there. And social media, definitely sending cards. And if I think about a client, I'll shoot them a text or give them a call. And I may have closed you a few years ago, but if you run across my mind, for me, that means, hey, just call and say hello. Shoot them a text and say, hey, I hope everything is well. I'm still here. So that's how I truly stay apart from the CRMs, just the contact. If I think about you, if I see you, and with Ocala being so small, you see everybody's parents, grandparents, and all that good stuff. And I'm definitely, I'm the vice president of the booster club for the high school I graduated from. So I work the concession stands on some Fridays, and I see kids that I went to school with their parents. So things like that, you'd be so surprised just being involved in small things in your kids' sports. If you're little league, just adopt a little league team, put your banner up. Little things like you have to be present in your community. You have to be present in your community. I live in Ocala, but it's a small town that I grew up in called Anthony. And I remember my mom being in this club when I was like 16, 17. And I was like, what is she going to this women's club thing for? Like, what is this about? Now I'm a member of the women's club. Like, I go to the meetings and I understand. And she was a teacher and she still networked. And that's such a great, it's the Women's Club of Anthony. So they're like the heartbeat of the community. You have to insert yourself and things like that and do good deeds. And we're new, but we're looking at in the beginning of the year, at least twice a year, having just thank you to your clients. Come out, there'll be food, prizes, games, everything is free. But yes, to incorporate events quarterly, twice a year, once a year, whatever you can do. but definitely you want to thank your clients for choosing you because there's so many other people they could choose. So when they choose you and you have a client, you keep them close and you keep in contact. And that's how you work that. You have to keep in contact, keep them close, and that's something that never stops. That's always going.
So beautifully said. I want you to be my realtor, Natasha. Oh,
I sure
I love
will.
it. Don't love Florida, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I know
I
it's
always
sunny all the time, and I would probably do well with the sunshine all the time, but
I always say I'm a Florida girl for sure because I don't like the cold.
ah.
And I've stayed and with the snow, I've seen the snow, I've seen it, and it's just so cold. I don't
I
hats off
love
to you guys. I see the hats and the earmuffs, and it could be snowing, and you guys are going to work.
My aunt lives down in Florida and she wears hats and earmuffs and it's like 60 degrees. And I'm like, what is going on, Aunt
And
Diane?
it's below 70. Once we would get below 70, oh no, it's cold. It's below 70 and it's cold. Don't let it be cold and raining. It's like, well, you schedule that or do I just really go? I've just really gotten to the point, even when it rains here a lot. So when it's rainy and cold, you really have to get in the mindset. I have to, for personally, this is my business. This is what I do. They want to see a house that is cold and raining, you get your butt up and you go show that house.
I love
So
it.
yeah, I love living in Florida, but I don't know how you guys, the snow is beautiful, but I don't know how you guys do it. I am a Florida girl. I am a Florida girl all day, every day.
Love it. Thank you, Natasha, so much for your time. And we are so excited to stay in touch with you. And
Yes, me too.
hopefully, we have all sorts of referrals coming your way.
I thank you. I wish you all the best. God bless. You guys are wonderful, so
Oh.
professional, and the questions are great. They're very heartfelt, personal questions, but professional. So I thank you for your time. I'd be happy to come back whenever you guys want. And you never
Awesome.
know, I might be up north. I have to come see you guys when I'm traveling.
That's awesome.
Yay!
We'd love that.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Momentum in Real Estate. We hope you found valuable insights and strategies to propel your real estate journey forward.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates with you. Remember, success in real estate is about continuous learning, growth, and serving others. Keep that momentum going and watch your business thrive.
Until next time, keep pushing forward and bringing your real estate dreams to life.
This is Cory Wall.
And Kristen James signing off from Momentum in Real Estate.